Hi, this is Costa Games. Before this video starts, I'd like to say that this video is years 105 through 110. Meaning, if you would like to see what happened between years 100 and 105, here's the video right here. This video should be an increase in quality, so if you notice that between the two videos, please leave that in the comments. That would mean the world to me, and I hope you guys enjoy. Welcome back, adventure. How long has it been? 5 years? Wow. You missed a lot. Firetalon's gone through a lot. Here, sit down. Let me grab you some ale. I'll catch you up. Well, since you left, we've renamed the militia Dewsum's Hands. I'm sure you remember Dewsum, the warrior that laid down his life in defense of Firetalon against the Fire Imp. I mean, his tomb's right down the hallway. With the growing population, we had to increase our storage for both food and drink. Soon after you left in 105, Rhaegar made a new artifact, a diorite crown, and we threw that into the artifact hallway. That year's when it all began, a forgotten beast, Strabtom. A scaly tick of great size with two broad horns coming out of his head, gray, blocky, armor-like scales that overlapped. Strabtom started lurking our caverns this year. Knowing we needed more materials for our militia's armor and weapons, and the construction of rooms throughout Firetalon, we set out to mining. That year in early autumn, the mountain homes came back with a huge wagon of supplies. We also started construction on a new guild hall for our herbalist group. This is when we got news of our second forgotten beast in the caverns, Ufalo Melifafire. A gigantic mud block with a square shell over its body that both squirms and fidgets. Ufalo was a blind beast. That didn't make him any less dangerous, though. Mid-autumn of 105, we found an aquifer that was closer to the elevation of our main floor. We built a well room there, allowing access to cleaner water for our hospital. Late autumn, we lost two dwarves. The forgotten beast Strabtom killed them. We have no idea how they managed to get into the caverns. The doors were locked and the drawbridges were pulled up. We have no idea how Camille and Moses made it into the caverns. But they did, and Strabtom found them and killed them. Strabtom continued to wreak havoc in the caverns throughout the year. Early winter of the year 105, Tulin crafted an artifact bed. I promise you this is the softest bed you've ever felt. Like the rest of the artifacts here in Firetalon, it went into the artifact hallway. Midwinter, we saw the founding of the Bolts of Magma, our Mark's Dwarf unit. We completed the construction of their barracks and their archery range. Late winter, we knew something had to be done about these forgotten beasts. We sent teams down into the caverns to create trap rooms, consisting of drawbridges and fortifications for our archers to shoot through. We were planning on taking the fight to the forgotten beasts. Mid-spring of 106, Tun, a dwarven child, created an amulet artifact. And like the rest of them, it was put into the artifact hallway for showcasing. Late spring of 106. This was one of the worst seasons I could remember. A dark beast crawled out of the stone in our caverns, chasing our miners back into the fortress. He made it past our drawbridges before we could close them on him. The trap hallway had failed. Dwarven child playing make-believe down in the cavern room was his first victim. Quickly though, we tried to bring up other drawbridges and sent our military down after him. It was too late. The beast had made his way up our staircases, slaughtering every dwarf he came across. This beast did not know mercy. He also didn't know pain. Our militia squads were no match for him. Every dwarf melting inside of their own iron armor. The beast made it all the way up into our main floor and fortress, catching our stockpiles on fire, burning our farm plots. Dwarven bodies scattered the staircases. Finally, we were able to bring the beast down. As it laid dead on one of our main floors, fires erupted all across the fortress, leaving stockpiles in ruin. Over half of our population was gone. It took us the next few seasons to build enough tombs and bury our dead. That slaughter was something no dwarven child should ever have to go through. We lost many, many dwarves that spring. That autumn, the mountain homes came back. It was heartwarming to see other dwarves after what had happened that spring. Both tales and goods were traded that day. They took with them not only our crafts dwarfs' goods, but also the story of what happened here at Firetalon back to the mountain homes. With our militia squads down to their last dwarf or two, we had to recruit some new dwarves to the squads, filling the ranks once again. Throughout the fall and winter of the year 106, these squads got to training, honing their skills with both sword and crossbow, preparing themselves for the next emergency. Late spring of the year 107, we saw our third forgotten beast, Kokimo. Kokimo was a four-legged beast made of coral, with large mandibles coming off of his already gigantic skull. By the summertime, the fort was almost back in full production. With a few migrants coming in despite the danger and the rumors and tales that they have heard, we were able to start production on new flooring, rock blocks, and mining. By the autumn, the mountain homes returned once again, this time bringing more supplies and tools for a colony they knew would be rebuilding. That same autumn, a dwarven child Litas created a puzzle box. We've had so many artifacts the past few years, we had to add more pedestals into the artifact hallway. That same season, Mogast arrived. An Ankylosaurus with external ribs, we named him King of the Beasts. Quickly, he made his legend known down in our caverns. Slaying who follow. Strabtome was still deep in our caverns, still lurking about. Now with Mogast on the hunt, these two beasts chased each other around the caverns. Mogast went to work clearing out our caverns of other pests like elkbirds. Midwinter, the fortress was bustling once again with production and liveliness. We started production on a grand guild hall for our farmer group. This place was magnificent, lined with golden statues, tables, and thrones, beautiful engravings lining the floors. Late spring, we finished the construction of our flooring, using microline from deep within the heart of Firetalon. This increased happiness in the dwarves significantly. Early summer, we made another push into the caverns, knowing something had to be done about these beasts. Our military pushed down, waited for our miners. Our miners broke through the stone, and immediately our builders got down there to build walls, to create a safe haven down in the caverns. 2 carcasses of forgotten beasts were found. Our militia squads watched over everybody as we made progress on the construction. And again, panic set in. A forgotten beast who we didn't even know was in our caverns arrived on our doorstep. Immediately, a handful of dwarves that were hauling stone down to the construction started to fight the beast. The beast fell after one of our dwarves punched it in the chest and collapsed its lung. This was the first forgotten beast slayed by dwarven hands on this land. In the early autumn, the mountain homes came back. This time, we sent them home with a profit of over 10,000 coins. We needed to show them that Firetalon was strong once again. The Hall of Beasts was constructed, a place where dwarves could come and see what horrors lied below in the caverns. The corpses of the 4 already slain forgotten beasts laid here. By 108, things were returning to normal here in Firetalon. The dwarves were happy. Tales were being told in the taverns, and it seemed like life was returning. And once again, it was flipped on its head. Mogast, the king of beasts, somehow slipped past our defenses. We believe he snuck in chasing one of the fortress's cats in the caverns. One of our dwarven children were one of his first victims. The child fought for his life, but he was no match for the forgotten beast Mogast. Now, with the taste of dwarven blood, he made his way up to the fort. Both militia squads after him. knowing we couldn't let him make it to the main floors. An epic battle took place on our staircases. Injuries were dealt out between dwarves and beasts alike. But eventually, Mogast fell. The king of the beast was no more. A new tradition was formed here in Firetalon, a trial of strength. A chosen dwarf was sent to collect the corpse of a forgotten beast, these corpses weighing 1,000 or more pounds. Sometimes it took days to retrieve one of these corpses and place it into the Hall of Beasts. It was an honor to be picked. We started to see the effects of the battles that we have had. One of our dwarves given in to depression. She started multiple fights in the temple. Our sheriff arrested her, put her in the dungeon, and she served a sentence of 112 days there. With more construction on the horizon, we needed more rock, so we sent the miners deep into the depths of Firetalon to collect it. Those stones were used to create more bedrooms for our growing population of dwarves here at Firetalon. In the Hall of Beasts, we had our best metalsmiths craft gold statues for each of the forgotten beasts, describing what they looked like while they were alive. Mid-spring of 109, Koro, another forgotten beast, arrived in our caverns. A two-legged gigantic hairy theropod with a long swinging trunk and long straight hair over his body. He began lurking in the depths. That same season, another forgotten beast came rushing into our caverns, almost like it was on the hunt. A three-eyed ankylosaurus with large mandibles, cobalt scales, and a bloated body. It was on a mission in our caverns. For what, we did not know at the time. We soon found out. With both Kuro and the ankylosaurus going to battle head-to-head in our caverns. This fight shook the rock and stone of Firetalon itself, causing earthquakes on our main floors for hours. The fight of these two Goliaths was a sight to be seen for sure. In the end though, Kuro emerged victorious. After Kuro slashed open the ankylosaurus' stomach, and its innards spilled upon our cavern floors, it gave in to the blood loss. The beast Kuro was on his last stand too, receiving hundreds of injuries from the ankylosaurus. We knew it needed to be done. Our militia squads were mobilized. They geared up, donned their armor, and began to move downstairs. We needed to take out this forgotten beast while we had the chance. We met him on our stairs. Again, we have no idea how he made it into our defenses. Another battle took place on our stairs going down to the caverns. Kuro slaying one of our marks dwarves. One of our spear dwarves lodged his spear inside of the trunk of Kuro. Gripping it with both hands, he twisted and pulled until Kuro's head pulled from its body. The beast was slain. The dwarf, Oostooth, was the one selected to take the trial of strength. A lone dwarf, he went down into our caverns and collected the body of the ankylosaurus beast. Dehydrated and his strength draining from his body as he lifted the beast's corpse onto his back, Oostooth began to have visions of his former child. His child was slain in the year 105 when the beast attacked and we had lost half of our population. These visions haunted Oostooth, but eventually they went away. What didn't go away was the threats from inside of our own caverns. Udis, the God-Forsaken, a humanoid made out of armored crystal. This beast was rumored to kill over 29 dwarves and other fortresses between the years of 63 and 70, only 30 years before the emergence of Firetalon. But now he's here. In the early autumn, the mountain homes came back once again with the supply caravan. And once again we sent them home with more profits than they could imagine to show the true strength of Firetalon. Midwinter of the year 109, another forgotten beast arrived in our caverns, Baktor, a towering hairy slug with violet hair all across its body, wings of stretched skin. This beast also made home in our caverns. Later that year, a shield that helped us defeat the king of the beast, Mogast, was named Desrolatmus Mesrafrum, or Entranced Cobalt, the Knowing Coincidence. This was carried by our militia commander. Firetalon continues to be the home of many dwarves, many tales, and many beasts. I am surely glad that you came to visit once again. And I hope wherever your travels may take you that you spread the stories of Firetalon. And surely you will come back to Firetalon to tell us of your own adventures. Until next time, traveler. Hey everybody, this is Games. I really hope you enjoyed what you just watched. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'm a new channel. I only have about 200 subscribers at the time of making this. So if you enjoyed it and you would like to see more stuff like this, please subscribe. As I continue to make videos, I am trying to increase the quality and everything, so please, if you have feedback, leave it below. I would greatly appreciate that. And with that being said, I hope to see you around more often, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.